Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Championship predictions for the very last time. There's one game to go and we all know what it is, the Championship playoff final. Two teams left, Coventry City and Luton Town. Today we are breaking it down and giving our predictions for this one-off game to see who's going to be playing in the Premier League next season. Before we get into this video, guys, you know the drill. Please do make sure to get your predictions and your comments and your opinions down below. Do make sure, of course, to hit that like button. We'll go for 400 likes on this one. And do make sure, of course, to subscribe as we'll start to push towards 31,000 subscribers. I'm joined by Sophie. How you doing?
I'm very nervous. How are you?
Yes. Definitely got a vested interest because our team's in the final this time round.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. It's a massive game. Obviously, we do predictions on a weekly basis, and I was thinking back to last season, Sophie, for the Championship playoff final. It was Nottingham Forest versus Huddersfield. Now, that was a very hard game to predict, but we all did go for Forest, and it turned out to be the case.
Yeah.
This one, I'm very worried that I'll get it wrong because I think this is a very tricky one to predict.
It is.
Very difficult to call. Both sides absolutely fantastic this season. When it comes to how to separate them, I suppose Luton Town did finish higher in the table this season. Can you put that down maybe to Coventry City having a slow start because of the pitch issues? Would Coventry have maybe finished third or fourth if we'd have had a good start, because we didn't get going for about 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, but I feel like there's been other games where we've also dropped points. Like there was Swansea where 3-0 up, ended 3-3. So there's games like that where we've dropped points, and if we'd just seen the game out, we'd obviously be higher up the table. So it's not just a slow start for me. No.
Okay, let's start by going through the teams one at a time. We'll start with Coventry City, Sophie. Fantastic season, first time in the Championship playoffs ever. I mean, the trajectory for Coventry City is ridiculous. Every season for the last 6 seasons we've climbed the pyramid, and even if we weren't to win the playoffs this year, if we followed that trend, we'd be somewhere in the top 4 in the Championship next year. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily feel like now or never while we've got Mark Robins. If we knew he would be walking out the door if we didn't go up, then it would feel like now or never.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, an incredible story. Let's talk about some of the key components. Ben Wilson, keeper with the most clean sheets this season, Golden Glove, and he got a goal as well.
Honestly, I don't think there's a better season for him, to be honest. You get Golden Glove, you score a goal, which then meant playoffs were back on at that point. It was such an important goal. And I don't think anyone's seen it coming as well.
No, he was a backup at the start of the season. We had Simon Moore, and Ben Wilson must be so relieved that Simon Moore kept throwing the ball into his own net and stuff in the first part of the season. The back line has been fantastic, and we've mentioned how crucial Fads was coming back. I remember you spoke about that actually when we had that poor run in January. You said we need Fads back, and you were spot on. He came back and things got better. I think he actually came back when we played Luton Town at home, and then from there we've only lost like one game until the end of the season now. McNally, I want to give him a mention. How good has he been at the back?
He's been solid, and I think if anyone we're going to sign on a permanent, I think it could be him. I don't think Burnley are going to keep hold of him or would want to keep hold of him, so I think he's got to be one of our priorities. He's been so good for us.
Absolutely. Callum Doyle as well. Norton Cuffey on the right. Bidwell seems to be very solid on the left. Obviously Eccles, we've got Sheaf, we've got Allen, you've got Kelly coming back, but the man that's going to get all the attention, and rightfully so, Gustavo. What a player. I mean, he is Premier League, Gustavo Hamer. Come on.
Yeah, beginning of the season, the amount of yellow cards he was racking up was worrying. And there was a turning point.
He got 2 reds, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a turning point where I think he did like an Instagram post and had said like, oh, I'm going to knuckle down now. And he did. He really did. He turned it around. And ever since, he's just been top form for us.
Unbelievable player. And then when it comes to the strikers, obviously Matty Godden certainly deserves a mention. He's a good finisher. He could play a crucial role here. But the main man, and if we play one up top, we know who it's going to be, is Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah. I think on his day, he is outstanding. It's just, is he going to have his day at Wembley? I bloody hope so.
Yeah, we shall see. So Coventry City, obviously a strong team. They're the key components of that team. And like I say, in terms of form, the season's playing out in a way where we started slow. We really accelerated going into the World Cup. then we had another slow run, and then we really accelerated to the finish line. So it seemed like every time there was a bit of a break in the season, an international break, or the season was getting started, that's when we had a poor run. So momentum maybe on Coventry side, but we can certainly say momentum is on Luton Town side as well. I think it's only one defeat in 14 games, and that was in the playoff game against Sunderland. Now, watch Sunderland and Luton's both games, obviously, and I thought Luton Town, for the whole of the second game, they were the better side, and for the first half an hour of the first game, they were the better side. They're so strong, they really bullied Sunderland. But we did see between minute 30 and minute 90 in the first leg where you can get at Luton, and it felt as if when Sunderland got their first goal through Diallo, Luton Town's game plan went out the window. So Luton Town obviously not invincible.
No, I don't think they are. I think the key for this game is to keep them quiet in the first half, because that would definitely work in Coventry's favour, in my opinion. Don't concede any stupid early goals, and then go at them full guns blazing in the second half. You can't take Luton as a walkover or anything.
No.
I think they've been very, very good all season. We've been saying they've been pretty consistent. They're a very, very big physical side as well, so I think it's going to be such a challenging game. I was going to go into my prediction, but I'll leave that for later.
Predictions coming in just a minute, but let's mention some of their key players, because as we say, Luton Town finished third. I mean, they'll argue, if three go up, it should have been them. It could still be them, but some of their key components: Ethan Horvath racked up a lot of clean sheets this season. He's a pretty decent goalkeeper. And they've got Lockyer, who I think is such a good leader for Luton Town. They've got some really key components at the back as well. In terms of up front, I thought Adebayo was going to be their top striker this season, like the top goal scorer. And he's still a very good player, but Carlton Morris has really taken the headlines, and he's been an absolutely fantastic player. I remember him playing for Milton Keynes and bagging a few goals a couple seasons ago. So, Luton Town are actually the bookies' slight favourites. Both sides come into this in ridiculous form. Both sides played out draws this season. Really not a lot to separate this one. Do you know what? Do I give it to you to predict first, Sophie?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay, so for this one, I completely agree with you, by the way, with the Adebayo and Carlton Morris thing. I last season, I think I said to quite a few people, I'd love to sign Adebayo. He's a very, very physical top striker. Now I'd be happy with Carlton Morris, to be honest. So they're very, very good, and a good partnership as well. My prediction, I'm going to take away the fact that I'm a Coventry fan and take away any bias. I see it being a really, really tight game, quite a low scoring game, as I feel like it's going to be very edgy, as a lot is riding on it. I see one goal separating this, and I'm giving it to the Sky Blues.
Wow.
Yeah, in 90 minutes, Coventry win, 1-0.
1-0 Coventry. Wow, okay, yeah. I think what I completely agree with is it being low scoring. I mean, I just think, based on especially Coventry City's performances in the playoff semi-finals, this is going to be a low scoring affair. Both sides racked up loads of clean sheets this season, and it seems like now it's one game only and the pressure is high. You cannot afford to make a mistake, and things are going to be cagey. They usually are for playoff games, I will admit. Nottingham Forest versus Huddersfield, it was only 1-0 last year. Swansea versus Brentford, that was only 2-0 the year before. They're usually low-scoring affairs. I think whoever scores first wins this game. Coventry City have not come from behind to win at all this season.
No.
Luton Town, fantastic. I think Rob Edwards is a fantastic manager. Mark Robins, we all know, brilliant for Coventry as well. Does his experience pay off here? I'm going to go 1-0 Coventry as well. I'm going to match you up there.
Wow.
I'm going to go 1-0 Coventry. And one thing I will admit to the people watching, obviously, there might be Luton Town fans accusing us of being biased for Coventry City. Obviously, I can't tell what our predictions would be if we weren't Coventry City fans. We just are Coventry City fans. And I'll admit as well, if we were Luton Town fans, we probably would be leaning towards Luton Town.
Maybe.
But let's not forget, Coventry City are a fantastic side. We have full respect for Luton Town. And if anyone was to have won the playoffs that wasn't Coventry, I would have wanted it to be Luton.
Yeah, and what I will say as well, we weren't expecting Coventry to be in the playoffs.
No.
So this is a nice surprise for us, especially after the start we had to the season. So if we don't do it, we've got next year anyway. So I think either way, well, I won't be happy either way, but I won't be completely heartbroken if Luton go up.
Yeah, Luton Town have finished in the playoffs, one season ahead of us, so our Coventry City just Luton Town but a year behind them. Can we do it next year if they do it this year? We shall see. It's going to be interesting though. Like I say, my partner is from Luton Town and there'll be a split in the family on Saturday. We'll see how that plays out. Do make sure to say hello if you see us down at Wembley on Saturday. It's a massive game. Play up Sky Blues, Sophie.
Let's do it.
And we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.